I'm Estelle Thomson, your mistress of radiance, and this is Walk with Me in Butterfly Alley, a Chic West podcast revival. This is a 10-minute audio series about living a meaningful, sparkly life. One walk, one idea, one story. In each 10 minutes mini episode, I'll share with you what I've been thinking about, what life is teaching me, and maybe a question for your own reflection. So grab a coffee, lace up your shoes, or simply settle in. Let's take a walk together, unfiltered. Welcome to Butterfly Alley. I love fashion. Fashion has been such an outlet for me for playing, for expressing myself, to adorn myself. And when I was 39, the summer that I was 39, I Scott and Isaiah were away. I think they went biking for a weekend. I really sat down, took the whole weekend, and I was about to turn 40 in December. And I kept asking myself, what is the one thing that I didn't do in this life that I must do? And that was fashion school. In my 20s, I almost went to, I think it was called Dawson College, and take their designing for fashion course in Montreal. And I'm pretty sure I was accepted. I had applied. I didn't go. I didn't go because I didn't know how to sew. I was completely traumatized of math. Like anything counting, rulers, like that felt repulsive to me. It still does, but I've been able to get over that fear. Um, and so everything was kind of coming back full circle. And it was like, what's the one thing I haven't done? And it was like to make my own clothes and have my art on my clothes. And that felt like such a big dream. So I went back to fashion school at 40, and the program was an online program. It was through Toronto Film School University, which I don't think they offer that online program anymore, but it was 2021. So, a lot had shifted online. So I was really lucky because I'm not sure now you can do such a diploma online anymore. I mean, maybe you can, but I haven't looked for it. And oh, that whole, maybe that's a whole podcast in itself, but going back to school, in your 40s, like what a trip. It was such an incredible experience. But, you know, I just, that's how much I love fashion. There's a thing that I teach in my program, especially my Creatress program, which is my mentorship for yoga teachers and creatives. And I speak about spiritual fashion because I think also in my 20s, it's like I'm so someone that's like emotionally, I have so much depth to me. And I was told a lot of time that like fashion was like a superficial thing, and that beauty was like superficial thing. And I really had to deconstruct both these things for myself. And I think that's probably also why I didn't go to fashion school in my 20s, because I was so immature. Literally so immature. Like, why was it black or white? Like, what? I didn't go because I didn't want to put a ruler in my hand. Like, that's ridiculous. And also, fashion is nothing but spiritual. And I want to tell you why. And I think if you're listening to this podcast, I feel I feel you get that as well, that we can use clothes to express who we are and how we feel. And clothes can be such an activator in our inner feeling of radiance. And I've always thought that personal style really comes from within. I guess, yes, we can be influenced by other women wearing this and that, but I so don't go by trends. Like, whether make me something makes me feel happy, I just wear it and it's part of my individuality. And I think we need to stop thinking that clothes are a material thing, because that's the other thing. Like, you wear clothes every single day of your life. Like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to Sunday, you wear clothes. You wake up, you look at your closet, and you choose something to put on your body. And what you choose to wear as repercussion on your body, on your mind, on your spirit, like on your well being for the whole day. Like, I joke that I'm so much nicer when I like my outfit, like just so much nicer. Like, I operate from such like a higher, sparklier self than if I feel like a slob. So your relationship to clothing is so personal and so intimate, and what you wear carries your personality and your essence. And in one day, I shape shift from my work in my art studio, or like sporty for exercise, or like dressy to go out, or like in my sweatpants, watching movie with my family. Like, yeah, your clothing really speaks about you and your spirit, before we even speak. So anyways, it's no secret. Like, I love clothes, and I've loved clothes for all my life. It makes me very Libra. I understand that. But there's something like very Venusian about that. And I teach about the goddess Venus and her Greek counterpart, Aphrodite. And there's something there for us in terms of beauty. But I also want to deconstruct beauty. Like, I feel beauty has gotten a bad rep. What the hell? Like, beauty is so subjective, and beauty, I love the definition of beauty by the poet John O'Donohue the most, which he says beauty is a homecoming. Yet there's so much beauty in like nature and the world and what's imperfect. And so, like, we and if you've heard me say this before, like, we need beauty and healing. Like, a lot of reclaiming we do as women, it's like literally just reclaiming what we love. And in terms of clothing, like, what an incredibly powerful thing to just wear what you love. Not from like, not what your husband loves, not what your friends love on you, what you, what, not what society should tells you should wear at like 20, 30, 40, 50, but what you love. And so I think again, there's something so much deeper here.
It's a little wild to think I'm entering my 16th year of teaching my own brand of yoga, Radiance. Radiance Yoga and Dance returns to the practice in Dartmouth on September 2nd, and registration opens August 5th. Every Wednesday evening, we gather to move our bodies, connect with ourselves, and remember what it feels like to be fully alive. Radiance is more than just a normal yoga class or dance class. It's a space for self discovery, connection, and coming home to yourself through movement. Join us in person for yoga, dance, or both. If you're not local to Nova Scotia, you can also join Radiance Yoga online, live or on Zoom, or through the replay library. No experience is required, no perfection is expected, just a willing heart and a body ready to move. You can find all the details at estellethomson.com. I would love to welcome you into our radiant community this fall. Now back to our walk.
I think we've lost the truly how truly resourceful and magic putting on a good outfit that only you and you love, can be. And of course, my own relationship with clothing has evolved in like the different stage of my life. Like, I didn't, you know, I didn't if I think when I was raising little small babies, like how different I dressed and like now when most of my days are spent in my art studio and I dress like somebody who's an artist, like who has his own. I love clogs because they're comfortable. I wear a lot of overalls because when I sit and draw, the elastic doesn't this is the worst thing to feel cut off in your belly where your belly is literally like the source of all your creativity. Like, why would you do that to yourself? And, anyways, after having kids, it's really rare that I wear really tight things. Um, so for me, it's always been like practical, and yet, yeah, I do want to feel good and radiant, and it's part of really like this deep commitment to self-care that I have for myself. And I know a lot of us like we equate dressing well with like money, but I don't agree with that. I really think like what about having one thing that's really you, even if it's like a good pair of jeans or a nice skirt, and you wear it every day. And like, it doesn't mean having more clothes, and that's not, whilst I'm a bit of a maximalist myself, it really is, I don't think it's connected. And it's such a faceted part of our lives. And I really do think like clothing can help us find ourselves at our most powerful and confident and joyful, so for me, embracing your own personal style and embracing fashion really is the road to self-love, the start of it anyways. And and understanding that clothing is intricately linked to your physical, mental, and especially your spiritual well-being. Yeah, we need to get in touch with this more subtle side of fashion, the subtle side of life, and particularly like colors. And colors affect, how you feel um, on an any day basis. So, yeah, just a reminder today that I passionately believe that clothing can help you live your best radiant life. Let me know what you think. You can also always follow me. I have a fashion account on Instagram. It's called Estelle Fashion Atelier. I'd love to see you there. I just share my like daily outfits that make me feel happy. It's so interconnected. Okay, love you so much. See you on the next walk.